Julia, do you mind if I turn on the radio? Andrew, do you like music or am I that boring? Julia, who doesn't like music? Andrew, is it me or are you dodging the question? I don't really like music for one. Julia, I don't believe you. Andrew, no, really. Check my car radio. There are no safe stations there. Julia, and what about the guitar? Andrew, not mine. Julia, you're the most boring person I've ever met and a liar. Andrew, you're hurting my feelings. However, have you actually met that many people in your life? Julia, you got me there. Julia scrolled the stations until she stumbled upon one that was playing the holiday tunes. Julia, now that's what I'm talking about. Andrew, now, now we'll be bored to death, accompanied by holiday songs. Hooray! Julia, you always keeping on grumbling. You must be at least 60 psychologically. Andrew, and what about you? Around 8? Julia, 15. Andrew, wonderful. Julia, tell me, have you never thought of having a family yourself? Andrew, I can hardly look after one set of limbs. How can you expect me to take care of kids? Julia, why jump straight to kids? 2 adults can also be a family. Start with a relationship, maybe. Andrew, why do you think I'm not in one at the moment? Julia, just a hunch. Am I wrong? Andrew, no, but it still hurts a fair bit. Julia, you're going to celebrate New Year with your mom after all, not your girlfriend. Andrew, we all have our reasons. Julia, your house is a bachelor's den. Andrew, you don't have to live together, do you? Julia, and you have a foul character. Andrew, like you're the one to talk. Julia, you're a liar A bore. You grumble like an old man. Andrew. Hey, calm down here, young lady. Julia. I mean, even that doesn't stop millions of insufferable people around the world to find their partner. And you're still single. Are you, by any chance, homosexual? Andrew. I'm not. And cut it out already. Do you think gay people can't find themselves a partner? Julia. Who knows? Maybe you just didn't come out of your closet yet and live in conflict with yourself. Andrew. I'm just a loner. Let's stop at that. Julia. A girl broke your heart, so you decided to ditch relationships as a whole? Andrew. I never had a girlfriend. Julia. Never ever? Andrew. Never ever. Julia. Even at school? Andrew. At no point in my life. Julia. And have you ever thought of having one? Andrew. Are girls pets to you? I mean, it's not that I don't like the prospect. It's just I haven't met the right one yet. Julia. The right one for your standards? Andrew. The right one for me. And what about you? Is your fiancé waiting in Orenburg? Julia. I'm not that different from you in that regard. I've never had a boyfriend. Andrew. Even at school? Julia. Don't be mean. I hardly attended school. So yeah, even there. Andrew. Why? Julia. Well, Grandma homeschooled me when I was living here. So, I started going to a normal school when I was 13. After my parents took me back, I was expelled after a couple of weeks. Andrew. Are you joking? Julia. I wish I was. Andrew. This sounds like an interesting story to hear. Julia. I nodded off geography class. Andrew. They don't expel you for that. Julia. While I was asleep, my body went out the window. The classroom was on the second floor. I fell and broke my leg. Hold on, that's not funny. Okay. But even that didn't wake me up. I walked 2 bus stops worth of distance before my parents found me. I stared at Julia in horror and disbelief. Julia, that's exactly the same look my teacher gave me back then. I spent a month in a hospital with a broken leg, and the principal kindly asked my parents not to send me back to school. Julia, their staff didn't exactly know what to do in situations like that, and so on. I was also apparently a bad influence on my classmates and should have been sent to the school for deviance. Julia, I continued homeschooling, but from that point on, I was taught by strangers. Andrew, everybody was probably worried sick about you. I can imagine how it looked. A schoolgirl in a tattered uniform, walking down the street, dragging her broken foot, with a blank look in her eyes, like something out of a zombie movie. Julia, I can understand what they felt, but it's still painful. After I moved away from Grandpa, my only hope was to be able to go to school like everybody else. Julia, I expected to make friends, to exchange little messages with them in class, to hang out after school, to go camping or watch movies together, to gossip about boys and have sleepovers. Julia, maybe I would even get my first love letter there, and they would ask me for a prom dance, and maybe I'll even have my first kiss. Julia, it feels weird to talk about that now. It's all in the past, but I can't shake off the thought that I've missed something really important. Something that I wouldn't have a second chance at in my life. Andrew, well, there's no guarantee everything would have gone according to your plan anyways. I don't have any warm memories of my classmates, even though I spent good 11 years with them. Andrew, and the girls you know, they can be even scarier than boys. They're extremely jealous. They'd ruin your life without flinching just because you're smarter or more well liked by boys. Andrew, maybe it's a blessing you avoided all of that. Julia, it's better to regret something you've done than to regret something you wish you've done. A cheerful jingle changed to a slow dance tune. Andrew, wanna dance? The words slipped out of my mouth before I could think. What did I say just now? Why? I wanted to disappear from embarrassment. My cheeks were so hot, you could probably fry stuff on them. Julia, I do. Her face was as red as mine. I bet we'd both feel much more relaxed if I just ran into the forest and didn't come back ever. I held out my hand. It was shaking so hard. It was almost uncontrollable. Julia didn't seem scared or confused. She gently touched the palm of my hand, and the shaking subdued. Andrew, I hope you won't regret that. It was my first time being this intimate with a girl. We were so close, I could make out every single hair on her head. Julia didn't look up at me, but I could feel the warmth coming from her face. Andrew, see? You don't need to go to school to have your prom dance. Julia, yeah. Andrew, and it's not the only place to look for friends. My voice was unnaturally low and silent. Julia was also speaking quietly, but I could hear her every word. Julia, that's why you're friends with an old hermit. Andrew, well, it just turned out that way. Julia, we're both not the most experienced in the matter, but you should know it's hard to find friends or your most important person. Andrew, I bet a lot of guys would love to go out with you. You're rather beautiful. Julia, you're not ugly yourself. Andrew, well, thank you. Julia, but that's not it. Andrew, what do you mean? Julia, we're not looking for people who need us. We're looking for the ones we need. It makes no difference if someone is interested in you when the feeling isn't mutual. Andrew, many would argue with that. Julia, but you won't. The aroma wafting from her hair made me feel a bit dizzy. I miraculously avoided stepping on Julia's feet, a dazzling success for my first time dancing. It felt like we moved around the same spot for eternity, and I'd love to do it some more if only I hadn't discovered that the song was long over, and with it, the ephemeral atmosphere of serenity. We exchanged awkward glances and got back to decorating the room. After finishing with that, we returned to the first floor. Julia went straight to the fridge and poked her head inside like she owned the place. Julia, well, it's not much. Aren't you expecting guests? Andrew, just a single guest. Julia, she's not coming here to have a cup of tea, you know? And it's not like you have anything to go with tea anyways. Andrew, and I think you just don't know how much a normal person eats. Julia, cheapskate. Andrew, where'd you get that from? And there's enough to feed 8 people there? Julia, alright, I'll think of something. Just don't disturb me. I gladly promised I won't interrupt her or even go inside the kitchen while she cooks. But what was I supposed to do in the meantime? I thought of working, but quickly decided against the idea. It would be wasteful to disturb the order of my workplace. I grabbed the book with the Tales of the North instead. This book is a collection of stories on existing creatures. The mediator is to be tasked with refreshing the knowledge every 50 years. Andrew, isn't it a bit too serious for a preface? Julia, did you say something? Andrew, do you know who the mediator is? Julia, no, what about it? Andrew, nothing, was just curious. The first creature in the book was the forest witch, Joma, living in a hut deep inside the forest. She used to eat human children, but the Great Amish later prohibited that, threatening to drive her out the woods. The witch reluctantly agreed and started catching beasts and birds to use their blood in fertility potions to prolong her life. There was a jowling, decepting a slim, tall lady with a very keen look. Her age was impossible to identify. There was a drawing depicting a slim, tall lady with a very keen look. Her age was impossible to identify. Andrew, your witch looks almost like Baba Yaga. A lot more beautiful though. Julia, like who? Baba Yaga, you know, the crone who lives in hut on chicken legs? Julia, what? That's nonsense. Julia looked at me like I was an idiot. Andrew, come on, she's from a classic fairy tale. Have you really never heard of her? Julia, was I supposed to? Andrew, parents scare their children with her all the time. Julia, mine only told me of the forest witch. Andrew, I have a couple of questions for your grandpa then. But I can understand why you feared her so much. This stare would make the blood freeze in one's veins. Andrew, and we have your grandma to thank for that. Drawing her in such a way was completely unnecessary. Julia, the witch was even scarier in the old version. Andrew, the old version? Julia, Grandma didn't make up these stories. She took them from another book. It was quite battered, so she decided to rewrite it. I flipped through a couple more pages. Lashy and Domovoy were continuing the list, but I already knew of them thanks to Slavic folklore, so I put the book away. Andrew, you can't seriously believe in all that. Julia, have you read the part about the forest spirit? Andrew, the household one or the water one? Julia, about Amish? Andrew, I've decided to leave that magnificent experience for later. Julia, well, it's your loss. By the way, which salads should I make? Andrew, why even make them? I don't eat salads. Julia, then why have you bought the vegetables? Andrew, I eat them raw. They're more useful that way. Julia, you eat them raw because you're bad at cooking? Andrew, as you wish. Julia, and you can't only be thinking about yourself. What if your mom likes salads? Does she? Andrew, I don't know. I don't remember. Ask about your grandpa though, and I'll answer right away. Julia, it's just he's my grandpa, not yours. And don't forget, you've promised to tell me everything about him. I don't even know how you met each other. Andrew, you didn't ask. Julia, I'm asking now. Andrew, he picked me up off the street, saved me from starvation. Julia, I thought you found yourself a decent job after you left home. Andrew, true, when work ran out in one place, I would get reassigned to another town, and then to another one, and so on. I had visited half the country, and then I got here. Andrew, I was promised bad living conditions and good pay, but I was given neither. As soon as I got here, the facility went under, and a lot of people were left without a job. Andrew, local folk knew their way around here and were fast to find new jobs, but strangers like me had no place to return to. I had been renting an apartment for some time, looking for a job. Andrew, and then I found my suitcase before the door. It turned out that my landlady was renting an apartment of her wandering son. And well, he came back. I got my suitcase, but all of my money stayed in his pockets. Andrew, it's quite ironic. Was I to keep my job then, I would have been among those woodcutters. Julia, nothing ironic about it. What happened next? Did Grandpa find you then? Andrew, almost. I spent the whole day in a bus stop. I was exhausted. Thought the whole world turned against me. I was in this cold land, without a job, without a place to live, without any money. I gave up. Andrew, but the cold was too strong, so when the night fell, I started looking for ways to warm myself. I burned random trash and my own belongings. It helped, but not for long. When I ran out of things to burn, I stumbled upon Pop's workshop. Andrew, I didn't care if what I did was right or wrong. I simply broke in, and Pops found me in the morning, laying on the floor near the fireplace. Andrew, he gave me two options. Either reports me to the police and they take me to a place where they feed you with cow poo-poo, as he put it. Or he teaches me his craft and I help him out around the workshop. I gave my answer almost immediately. Julia, Grandpa amazes me more and more. Does he remind you of that incident regularly? Andrew, he never once did, actually. I couldn't understand why he gave me a chance in the first place. Every time I asked him, he waved me away and told me that I should just live my life and don't sweat the small stuff. Andrew, we drank together once, and he went overboard so much he could hardly sit upright. Pops probably doesn't remember this, but before he knocked himself out, he managed to state that he was very happy to find me in the smoking area that morning. Andrew, I didn't pry anymore. We're very similar in that regard. It's hard for us to share our real problems. Well, now I can understand some things without words, at least. Julia, I think you're a very good person. Andrew, hey, are you crying? Julia, it's the onion. Andrew, come on, cut it out. Julia staggered and used the table for support. Andrew, what's wrong? Are you alright? Julia, yes, just felt a bit drowsy. Andrew, maybe you should lay down. Julia, I'm fine, don't worry. Andrew, well, okay. Julia, tell me more about Grandpa. Andrew, I had to bail him out of jail once. He somehow thought it'd be a good idea to wander around a mosque in a Santa Claus costume on New Year's Eve. I churned out one story after another while Julia was cooking, and as it turned out, my life became much more lively over the last couple of years, all thanks to Pops, who would laugh at getting his tooth beaten out or at the dove droppings on his truck's windshield. He always stayed positive and managed to cheer me up. Sometimes it was almost like he could read my thoughts. That's how good he was at understanding me. I, on the other hand, only knew the things he deemed worthy of telling me, and these things mostly had to do with his granddaughter. The rare moments of serenity always came in his drunken slumber. They were always unexpected, and I didn't know how to react. Julia listened closely, like she relived every story with me, and when I got tired of monologuing, she spoke up. Julia, so what's up with the guitar? Is it yours? Andrew, Uh-uh. Julia, then whose, if not yours or Grandpa's? You have no other friends after all? Andrew, don't touch my sore spot. It makes it pops then. Julia, don't lie. He never even played a music instrument. Andrew, it's impossible to hide anything from you. Julia, I love to hear you play. Andrew, I haven't touched it in a while, so... Julia, your choice, the guitar or potatoes? Andrew, potatoes, if it involves eating them. Julia, peeling. Andrew, give me just a moment. I picked up the guitar, blew off the dust, tugged on the strings, fiddled with a tuning keys, did everything to waste time. I didn't want to make a fool of myself before Julia. Julia, come on, play. I pressed down the strings, and my thumb screamed from the pain. Blisters from regular practice were already long gone, so it hurt like the first time. I tried to keep it simple and just plucked at the strings, but that was enough for Julia. She relaxed and swayed with the melody, mumbling something under her nose. I was calm for the first time in a while. I felt her eyes on me from time to time, but when I looked up, she was doing her own thing without looking my way. The house was filled with the scent of boiled potatoes and fried chicken, the scent of my childhood New Year's Day. Julia noticed me sniffling around. Julia, let me introduce you. That's the smell of edible food. Andrew, it's very nice to meet you, edible food. Saliva filled my mouth. I suddenly remembered that I haven't eaten for a very long time. The hunger went away for a while because of recent events, but it was slowly coming back now. Julia was keen for my interest. Julia, wait for a bit. Your mom will arrive soon. You'll share this meal with her. Andrew, did you learn cooking by yourself? Julia, Grandma taught me. Andrew, tell me something about her. Pops keeps his mouth shut all the time. Julia, she was cool and could seemingly do everything. She could cook, draw, sing. Andrew, and how did she meet Pops? Julia, oh, it's a funny story. Grandpa worked as a driver. One day he was tasked with driving a mayor's daughter to another city. Andrew, and this daughter was your grandma? Julia, yes. Grandpa suddenly stopped the engine during the trip. Well, he said it broke down. Polar night. Not a single soul in the facility. Horribly cold. Grandma panicked, and he just replied with, "The laborers will drive by in the morning. They'll pick us up." Julia, but we have to keep ourselves warm, and if we fall asleep, we'll freeze to death. So, they just sat there all night, talking, and come morning, he told her that the car was absolutely fine. Julia, Grandma complained to her father after it was over, and he didn't have to think twice. Just used his connections to throw Grandpa in jail. But Grandma took a liking to the driver, so she begged her father to release him. Andrew, it's called Stockholm Syndrome. Julia, don't act so smart. Andrew, and did they release Pops? Julia, not immediately. The father told her that she would need to ask him once more in 2 months. Then he'll do it. Andrew, sounds legit. Julia, of course, Grandma came back in 2 months with the same request. And then they built this house and lived here together until Grandma died. Andrew, knowing Pops, this story is quite easy to believe, but I still don't get why he keeps on getting in trouble all the time. How does he think those things up? I mean, does he ever hesitate? Julia, he certainly didn't hesitate that time. He knew it would happen because he seen it in a dream. He knew that he's destined to meet a girl he would love till the end of his days. And he also knew that no harm would come from him stopping the engine. Julia, he knew that it was necessary to spend a couple of months in jail, and that the girl would bail him out. He knew everything. Andrew, You can't take dreams that seriously. Julia, you just haven't seen prophetic dreams. Andrew, you're romanticizing it. Julia kept on swaying and almost fell. Good thing the fridge was behind her. Andrew, what's wrong? Julia, I don't feel so good. Andrew, tired? Julia, don't know. Andrew, here, sit. I checked the oven and led Julia by the hand towards the sofa. Julia, I'm so dizzy. A gust of wind shook the windows. Andrew, and there's the promised blizzard. Are you an old lady reacting to weather like that? Julia, I'm not sure. It feels like all the strength just left my body. Andrew, hey, keep it together, please. What would I say to Pops? Julia, I need to rest for a bit. Get a wink of sleep. I sat on the floor beside the fireplace. Andrew, sure. What was the thing I needed to read about? Julia, Osh, the forest spirit. Andrew, okay. I found the right page without trouble. Its entry was much larger compared to other creatures. For some reason, I started reading it aloud. Andrew, Osh is the forest guardian spirit in the form of a bear. In ancient times, he, the son of God, Ina, disobeyed his father and descended upon earth, tempted by local food and women. Andrew, as a punishment, Ina forbade him to ever return to the heavens, and Osh settled down in the forest, where the things to feast on were plentiful. By taking human form, he could visit villages to get food. Once in a century, he picked a woman and took her to the forest. Andrew, one night under the full moon was enough to bind his chosen to Osh, so she would guard the northern forest alongside him. Andrew, Osh knows the animal language, can see the future, and wields healing magic. Some of his abilities can be passed down to his children. Andrew, Nowadays, Ash lies in endless slumber, guarding the entrance to the shadow realm. However, the forest is never left unguarded. At the start of every cycle, the bear marks a new guardian with the forest spirit, and they keep watch until they're no longer capable of it. Andrew, until they're no longer capable? Sounds like a job without pay that you can't ditch. And why do you think that Pops is the said guardian? Julia, he can see the future, and if it wasn't him who stood up for the forest 10 years ago, then who, besides his and Grandma's stories? Andrew, that's just something you really want to believe in? I'll admit, there are a lot of coincidences. Almost enough to convince me, seriously. Julia, and you only believe in what you see, don't you? Andrew, I guess so. Julia, then we just have to visit that place. Julia let out a big yawn. Julia should go there and see it for ourselves. Andrew, you can hardly keep your eyes open. Julia, I'll just lie down for 10 minutes and I'll be as good as new. Without realizing it, Julia reduced her voice into a whisper. Andrew, sleep until Pops gets here. Julia, but I don't want to. She acted like a spoiled kid. Andrew, as you wish, I'll go get you a blanket.